we never really saw him again. And with Chavis, I was thinking maybe that might be the case because he wasn't really anything. You know, he was a busted prospect until the start of last year, and then he exploded. And
until he took steroids.
Yeah, and so that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, it must have been the steroids because he was junk before he was doing it and exploded and just happened to fail. But I doubt he's doing anything now. I'm sure he's, clean as a whistle or whatever. And
but he already got his bump. I mean, the steroids just give you the bump. You don't need it. You don't need to be McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa and take them your whole career. If you do one cycle and do it the right way of some HGH or legitimate steroids, then, as long as you keep working out after that, your body's going to keep the results. It's not going to go backwards. So he got the boost. So he took 80 games, slap on the wrist, missed the postseason this year for what could be a very promising career.
Yeah. Basically, for people that don't know, the HGH just basically helps you build muscle, and it's up to you to keep it up, basically.
Well, I mean,
build it faster, build it stronger.
He's playing well, so he didn't just disappear like the Blue Jays prospect did. So
yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
He had good contact numbers, before the steroids.
He just wasn't the power guy.
It was all of a sudden it was like 5, 6, 7, 8 home runs, 28, 30. It was like, what? Where'd this dude come from? And that was what got everybody excited. It was like, because anybody can go in and hit for contact and play decent defense, but it's when you got a slug that you can come up here and hit doubles and hit home runs and triples. But he also almost hit another home run too. It hit the warning track, so he almost could have had 3 home runs down there in Pawtucket already.
Is he a righty or lefty? I was just asking if he's a righty or lefty, if we know.
I think he's a righty.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I think he's a righty.
I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
I'm hoping he is a righty. All we have is lefties.
We honestly could use another righty.
Yeah.
That could hit a lefty too. Who's Austin? Who's the second guy you want to shout out for the minors?
So what I'm going to try to do with this segment is basically, give people a guy that's in the upper 2 levels, whether it's Pawtucket or Portland. And then the second guy, we're going to kind of drop it down to around, whether it's Salem, Greenville, etc. Like today it's from Greenville. We have Angel Padron down there. His last 5 starts, he hadn't had a good year up until then. But his last 5 starts, he's got 4 decisions. He's 4-1, 27 2/3 innings with 6 earned runs. Not bad at all. 25 Ks in that span. Not exactly a lot of strikeouts for that amount of innings, but the one issue is that he does have 10 walks, which, for the casual baseball fan, 10 walks in 27 innings doesn't sound awful. But probably to mine, Terry, and Dave's ears, it doesn't sound like a stud. He doesn't have the only thing about him is he doesn't have that much of a difference between his fastball and his changeup. But they're saying that his fastball is getting better, creating that separation. So that's what's turning in all these strikeouts.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. We'll probably know a lot more next year.
Down the farm. Yeah, I love just hearing the little guys that are not the first 2-3 round prospects, or you always get to see the depth guys go in there and do something well. And not everyone's going to be a Feltman, right? That gets drafted in the 3rd round, comes up, destroys the minors, gets moved up twice already, and is continuing to dominate. So it's good to see that they're still producing down there and still grinding away, because you never know. You get injuries, you get a little luck, and all of a sudden you'll be up here.
So you're saying that not everybody can be Michael Kopech?
No, not anybody can be Michael Kopech. That guy was a stud from the day he was drafted.
Yeah, I mean, out there throwing 102 on a major league field and getting his first win for Chicago. Of course, a huge part of that Chris Sale deal, along with Yohan Moncada.
Who leads the league in strikeouts?
Yeah,
Jalen Beeks.
Joey Gallo in a second baseman's body.
Beeks might be the next Snell, for all we know.
Yeah. We knew Beeks was going to be good with a little priming, but we need to win a World Series now, not in 4 years.
Yeah.
But it's like we say all the time with Tampa. They're going to develop his changeup. And if you have one good pitch in this league and you can still throw a fastball with a little movement, you have every opportunity to be good.
Yep. It's just a little coaching, and you can't teach the velocity, and Beeks throws it pretty well. And, if he can just control the ball and get that dominant second pitch, he'll be solid in that system with Glanslow and Snell, Beeks being at 3 or 4 is perfect.
Tomorrow night up here in Portland, about 40 minutes south of me, Eduardo Rodriguez is going to get the start, and Christian Vasquez is going to be catching him. So I thought about maybe going to it, but my girlfriend works late all week, so I don't know if I'll go or not. But that's at Hadlock Field.
Alrighty. Chavis is a right-hander, by the way. Righty.
Good.
That's what I thought. Okay.
That's cool. What I was hoping for.
Well, we knew he was a righty fielding because, he plays third base. Let's be real here.
Well, Travis, he could throw right and be a lefty because that's what Shaw did. Yeah. Most of the time they are righties. Moustakas must be the same way though as Shaw because he bats lefty. Yeah.
Dave, we ready to go Major League Wide?
No, actually, the new segment. New segment.
Let's do that one first. We got new segment alert.
Yeah. Do you have that up, Austin, or no?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. So for everyone watching, I kind of covered this on my Twitter feed. We're gonna ask probably a half a dozen or so questions to the Magic 8-ball, which I'm showing in the camera here. And they can be goofy, they can be personal questions as long as they're PG-13 related. Austin's going to read them off, so he won't read the really bad ones if any appear.
No, we're all nice and clean tonight.
All right, good.
I like it. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, go ahead with the first one.
Juggernaut of Joy asked, is this Petey's last year?
Good question. Very good question.
8-ball says it is certain. So
wow.
We will celebrate that, at least all of us on this podcast, but we're obviously in the minority overall.
At Jim Van Pat, can you smell fried chicken in the dugout?
8-ball says
I hope not.
It is decidedly so.
Oh God.
Ugh. This is my personal favorite.
It's Pedroia.
This is my personal favorite. Will Drew Pomerantz be DFA'd by the end of the season?
Oh, please.
That's at Klein Schmidt 21.
8-ball says cannot predict now. So I wonder if the 8-ball 8-ball's a little apprehensive itself over this Red Sox bullpen.
8-ball is not my favorite thing right now.
No.
Maybe I grabbed the dumb one off the shelf.
Another fun one. Nate Zempel. God, I hope I'm pronouncing half of this right. Will David Price turn into a pumpkin in October? Little Cinderella syndrome.
8-ball says it's in the middle of 2 right now. My reply is no. The 8-ball says David Price will not turn into a pumpkin.
8-ball.
There we go. Terry's getting a new 8-ball starting tomorrow.
Redeemed itself. I know.
These two kind of go together. Alicia Townsend and Lemang01. Is it time to panic about the Red Sox dropping games? Let's do that one first.
8-ball says it is most likely time to be concerned.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Good. New 8-ball. And Lemang01, watching the Sox lately, the word collapse has crossed my mind. Has it crossed yours?
8-ball says...
Be good to me. Be good to me.
Don't contradict yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, what the fuck? 8-ball. This sucks. I hate this segment. Throwing it out.
Yeah.
That's it for the 8-ball tonight.
Well, thank you for your questions. They're actually really good.
Awesome. It's nice to be able to shout some people out, too.
Yeah. Definitely keep that up because we'll be doing that regularly, even though the 8-ball fucked us tonight. That's okay.
Not a good 8-ball tonight.
Yeah. No.
League-wide, let's go.
League-wide. So, obviously, we always get into a discussion of league-wide on this podcast, but we're just going to be a little more specific now, as we're all just kind of going to shout out, well, not even shout out, just talk about a different team here. So, team I'm going to talk about just briefly here, the Colorado Rockies. A little bit feel-good story to start off the night. Matt Holliday returned there after like 10,000 days later and hit a walk-off home run today, or go-ahead home run, One of the two. It was good to see him. He was part of the 07 team that, made that great run all the way just to get murdered by the Red Sox in the World Series. But that was a good story, and they had their play-in game, and he hit a, go-ahead triple there, and then was the game-winning run on a line drive, sac fly out into right field. So he's been a big part of their organization. He made it all the way back, and they've been killing it. One thing that we harped on this podcast for a while was their lack of starting pitching. Pitching, Coors Field is tough to begin with. They don't have many big names on that. They don't have the Cole Hamels, the David Price, the Chris Sale, the Severinos, the Jay Happ even, the veterans there. But they've been great since the All-Star break. They have an MVP candidate in Nolan Arenado, who continues to mash the baseball and still be one of the best third baseman defensively in the league. They're just all around playing very well, and they're in second place right now in the West. Austin, I believe Arizona's in first, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So they're in second place, only a game or two out, depending on when this podcast ends and who wins the nightcaps. But they have a legitimate chance of winning the West and making another run towards the World Series. And it's good to see. I like that team. I like Coors Field. And when they're good at baseball, it's kind of just like when like a Tampa's good at baseball. It's like it brings more excitement, but it also, they're in a division right now that's struggling with like the Dodgers per se. So they have a legit shot at making it, and I think it'd be great to get them back in the playoffs.
Well, let's get one thing straight. Playoff baseball at Coors Field is electric.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's a whole different dynamic because it's colder, balls fly out of there. So it's very, every time someone comes up the bat, the game can drastically change.
It's like playoff baseball in Texas, like multiplied by 2. Those balls just fly out. If you get a good pitching performance, you got like a one-of-a-kind pitching performance during a playoff game there. It's awesome to watch. Yeah. But let's talk about the Red Hot Redbirds. Like, what a difference since the All-Star break they've been making. Matt Carpenter, probably the leading MVP candidate if you don't want to count people like Nolan Arenado. But this team doesn't seem like they can be stopped. I mean, they went from, I think it was 5.5 games back of the wild card to at the end of the All-Star break to now being in the first wild card spot, barely ahead of Milwaukee and 1.5 ahead of Colorado. I mean, they are getting support from people that they didn't have or didn't think that would help, whether it be Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader, Tyson Ross, everybody like that. And it's going to be hard to stop this team if they get in. Yeah,
they fired their manager when they were 500, which is usually a death sentence for a team. But it turned it around, gave him a spark, which was crazy. And Carpenter, who hit 4 doubles today in 9 innings, which tied the major league record for doubles in a regular 9-inning game. So he continues to stay hot. One of the prettiest swings in baseball, and they're going to get in.
Could not be hotter.
No, they couldn't be hotter, and the Cubs are lucky they won 7 in a row because the Cardinals could win that division very easily.
And the crazy thing is they traded Pham, they traded Piscotty, they traded Grichuk, and like you said, they got rid of their manager. I don't even know who their new manager is. It's their bench coach, right? Basically?
Yeah.
From before?
Yeah. It's him. They're an interim guy right now.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, he's possibly going to be the permanent manager going forward, and just crazy how that all kind of materialized. And in the last month, Colton Wong is hitting 362, just absolutely phenomenal.
Unbelievable defense, as well.
That's the big thing.
He made one of the plays of the year. I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know how he made the throw. For anyone listening right now, just YouTube that, and you guys too. I don't know if you saw it after the podcast. Take a look at it. He literally was upside down behind second base and threw a guy out. I don't even know how he did it.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And Marcell Ozuna is paying off pretty well here in the second half.
Oh yeah,
finally
after a slow start.
Oh my God, he's on my fantasy team. Broke my balls all season. And now he's just killing it now. And they have and Dexter Fowler as well. They have the names on that team. Yadi Molina, obviously. He took, a month or 2 out after getting hit in the balls. Literally getting hit in the balls and, really damaged his groin area for a PG-13 podcast. But, not good. And you know, they had a couple guys on. They had Martinez, their